Perspective. Perspective is one of those words that has two meanings. It can mean the way an artist uses lines to give depth to something, or it could mean a different point of view. So for example, I'm going to draw a road, and I'm going to make a horizon first, and I'm going to make a simple 2 lines for the road. And then I'm going to make lines on either side of my road. And depending on what kind of line I use, you'll get a different impression of what I was making. I'm going to put middle of the road lines in first, so it's a little bit more clear. So on one side, I'm going to use horizontal lines. And horizontal lines make something look like it's laying flat, like a sidewalk. And on the other side, I'm going to use vertical lines, which are lines that go up and down. And they make things look like they're standing up, like a fence. Today, we're going to be drawing a perspective landscape, but we're doing it from the point of view of an ant. I'm going to make a half circle shape down here at the bottom of my paper. And I'm going to add 2 circles for the eyes. And I'm going to use zigzag lines to fill them in quickly. And then I'm going to add the mouth, which is like 2 pinchers like that. And then I'm going to make a curvy line that looks a little bit bouncy for its antennae. And now I'm going to think about my horizon line. And the horizon line is the line that separates the sky from the land. And from an ant's perspective, that's usually pretty far away because ants are very tiny. So I'm going to put my horizon line up high on my paper. I'm going to make a line like that, which is pretty far up. And then above the ant, I'm going to go up on that line, that horizon line, I'm going to make a little dot. And that little dot is called the vanishing point. It's called that because it's the point at which things vanish. So I'm going to draw a line on either side of my ant that comes down from that vanishing point. And that's going to be the road that my ant is on. And I'm going to make a dotted line maybe in the road so that we could see that it has a middle. And as I move back further to the vanishing point, I'm going to make them smaller and smaller because that's the way it works until they're just little dots. And from an ant's perspective, things that look little to us might look very large. So I'm going to make some flowers, but they're going to be very large flowers because they're very close to the ant when they're right on this part of the paper. So I'm going to make some spirally flowers. My leaves are going to be going in. I'm going to erase the overlap. And I'm going to make another spiral flower over here. Now, as my ant goes further into the distance towards that vanishing point, my flowers are going to get smaller. And if you'll notice, they're above his head, at the level where his head is. So if he looks up, he is going to see spiraling flowers. But as they get further and further away and closer to that dot, the smaller they get. until they just look like little dots themselves. And maybe I want to add some more flowers to my fields. I can fill it up. And now I'm going to think about the details I'm going to add to my own drawing that make it mine. And I think I'm going to add some mountains on my horizon. And maybe they have a little bit of snow caps on the top where it snows, because mountains are so much taller and it's colder at the very top. And maybe I want to make a sun peeking out over one of my mountains. But maybe it's not sunny where you are. Maybe it's raining, or maybe there's other things flying in the sky. I can't wait to see all the different details you add to your drawing that make it your own. Thanks for drawing with me.